Okay, guys, we are getting close to the end of the book. Making ice cream at home. Homemade ice cream first became a staple of country living in 1846, when a woman named Nancy Johnson invented an ice cream churn, complete with a dasher, hand crank, 2 tubs, and space for ice and salt. By 1851, ice cream was produced commercially. With the widespread use of refrigeration, electricity, supermarkets, and convenience foods in the early 20th century, homemade ice cream became a delicacy for special occasions because we came to accept commercially made ice creams and other frozen desserts as food. Over time, what was once a simple mixture of milk, sweetener, flavoring, and possibly eggs became a frozen chemical soup of more than 60 additives with almost 50% more air than in homemade ice cream. For many, making ice cream at home has a great deal of mystique. Recipe books warn that the proportion of salt and ice has to be just right for the mixture to freeze correctly. Use too much sugar and the mixture won't freeze, too little and it will freeze as hard as a brick. Many cooks encourage the use of perfectly good ingredients such as gelatin and flour, but somehow these seem alien to such a simple delight. Making ice cream and other frozen desserts yourself makes good sense and is a lot of fun. The flavors you can create are limitless, and the ingredients are readily available. Your ice cream will cost less than the premium brands and will be vastly superior to the cheaper brands. Most important, you can control what goes into your ice cream, making it as sinfully rich or as austerely slimming as you want, with no unnecessary ingredients. For the best smooth texture and a minimum of ice crystals, ice cream needs to be constantly agitated throughout the freezing process. This is easily achieved with a modern ice cream maker or with a freezer unit or with an old-fashioned ice cream maker, ice and rock salt. Ice cream made with this process is called churned ice cream because the dasher in the machine constantly churns the mixture to aerate it and scrapes the freezer container's sides, breaking up any ice clusters that have formed. How to make fresh churned ice cream. Be sure to follow the manufacturer's directions for your particular equipment. Number 1, prepare ice cream. Pour into a bowl, cover, and refrigerate for several hours. 2, wash the dasher lid and can of the ice cream churn. Then rinse and dry, refrigerate to chill. 3, pour the chilled mixture into the chilled can, making sure it is no more than 2/3 full to allow for expansion. Put on the lid. Number 4, put the can into the freezer tub and attach the crank and gear assembly. Number 5, fill the tub 1/3 full of ice. Sprinkle an even layer of salt about 1/8 of an inch deep on the top. Continue adding layers of ice and salt until the tub is filled to the top of the can. 6, if using ice cubes, add 1 cup of cold water to the ice and salt mixture to help the ice melt and settle. If using crushed ice, let the ice-packed tub sit for 5 minutes before beginning to churn. While churning, add more ice and salt in the same proportions, so the ice remains up to the top of the can. 7. For hand crank churns, crank slowly at first, slightly less than 1 revolution per second. When the mixture begins to pull, churn as quickly and steadily as possible for 5 minutes. Churn at a slightly lower pace for a few minutes longer or until the mixture is reasonably hard. 8. For electrically powered churns, fill the can with the mix and plug in the unit. Allow it to churn until it stops, 15 to 20 minutes. To restart if necessary, turn the can with your hands. Number 9. When the ice cream is ready, remove the crank and gear assembly. Wipe all ice and salt from the top so that none can fall into the cream when you uncover it. Remove the lid and lift out the beater. The ice cream should be the texture of mush. Number 10. Scrape the cream from the beater. Add chopped nuts and fruit or sauce for ripple. If desired, pack down the cream with a spoon, cover with several layers of wax paper, and replace the lid, putting a cork in the cover hole. 11. Eat the ice cream in its soft state or ripen and harden the ice cream by placing it in a deep freezer or refrigerator freezer, or repack it in the tub with layers of ice and salt until the can and lid are covered. Use more salt than you previously used, making each layer about 1/4 inch deep. Cover the freezer tub with a blanket and set it in a cool place until ready to serve, about an hour. Alright, the scoop on scooping. Our favorite kind of scoop is a solid aluminum, rounded type with a lever. Running the scoop along in smooth, long lines helps get perfect scoops. Don't wet the scoop, the water will freeze to a thin layer of ice, and add ice crystals to your otherwise perfectly textured ice cream. Ice cream ingredients. 1. Dairy products. Heavy cream, light cream, half and half, whole milk, low-fat milk, buttermilk, evaporated milk, or sour cream. 2. Sweeteners. Granulated white sugar, brown sugar, honey, unsulfured molasses, maple syrup, light corn syrup. Ooh, no, I'm not even going to read those because no. You'd never want to use anything like corn syrup, fructose, maltose, or sorghum. Sorghum maybe because that can be organic. But the rest of that, you never want to use corn syrup for that. If you're going to make your own ice cream, make it healthy. Raw cane sugar. Brown sugar would be good, and honey would be amazing. Molasses, definitely, or maple syrup. Real maple syrup. Flavoring, vanilla extract. Make sure it's real. Homemade would be the absolute best. Chocolate, carob, fruits, nuts, coffee, and liquors. Basic vanilla ice cream. There's nothing like rich, high butter fat ice cream, but in this basic recipe, there's an option of making the ice cream lower in calories. 1 quart heavy or light cream, or half and half, or 2 cups each heavy and light cream. 1 cup of sugar or a half a cup of honey. I would opt for the honey or the raw cane sugar. 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. Best if it was homemade. Number 1, scald the cream. Although the ingredients can be mixed and used as is, scalding concentrates the milk solids and improves the flavor. To scald, slowly heat the cream in a saucepan until just below the boiling point. Small bubbles will begin to appear around the edges. Stir for several minutes. Then remove from the heat. Number 2, stir in the sugar. Pour into a bowl, cover and chill. When completely cooled, add the vanilla. Number 3, when the mixture is thoroughly chilled, follow the directions for churned ice cream, and it makes 1 quart. Alright.
Depends. On what?
Butterfat content. Whipping or heavy cream has 36% butterfat and produces the richest ice cream with the most calories. Most kinds available in grocery stores are ultra-pasteurized and contain emulsifiers and stabilizers, and they are horrible for you. Light or coffee cream contains 20% butterfat and makes relatively rich ice cream. Half and half is a mixture of milk and cream with 12% butterfat. It makes a satisfactory ice cream with a hint of richness. Whole milk has 3.5% butterfat. It's the basic ingredient in most ice creams and sherbets. Low-fat milks with 2% butterfat and 99% fat-free and skim. Less than 0.5% butterfat are useful when you want to limit calories, but you will get a coarser texture in the ice cream. Vanilla variations. Once you've mastered basic vanilla ice cream, the variations are limited only by your ingredients. Here's a sampling. Banana ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 1.5 cups of mashed banana to the cream mixture just before freezing. Butter pecan ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but add to the mushy ice cream 2/3 cup of chopped pecans that have been sautéed and 3 tablespoons of butter until lightly browned. Chocolate chip ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but add 1 cup of finely chopped chocolate chips to the cream mixture just before freezing. Chocolate ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but melt 2 to 6 1-ounce squares of bitter or semi-sweet chocolate in a small pan over low heat and add to the scalded milk. Increase the sugar to taste, usually doubling the standard quality. And dark chocolate would be amazing in that. Coffee ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but dissolve 3 tablespoons of instant coffee, espresso, or green beverage in 4 tablespoons of hot water or 3/4 cup of brewed coffee. Add to the cream mixture just before freezing. Fruit ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but before freezing, add 1.5 cups of fruit puree stirred with 2 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of sugar or 1 teaspoon of honey. I say sugar, make that raw cane sugar or raw honey. Use fresh or unsweetened frozen fruit. If you use pineapple, use canned and not fresh. Strain fruits with seeds, such as raspberries and blackberries after pureeing. Ice milk. Use the basic recipe, but substitute whole, low-fat, or skim milk for the ice cream. Mint ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but reduce the vanilla extract to 1 teaspoon and add 2 teaspoons of peppermint extract to the chilled cream mixture. Pistachio ice cream. Use the basic recipe, but add 1 teaspoon of almond extract to the vanilla. Add 1 cup of finely chopped pistachio nuts when the ice cream is mushy. If desired, add green food coloring with the extracts. Make sure it's a natural, organic green food coloring. Do not use the stuff that's cheap because that has cancer-causing dyes in it. Super creamy vanilla ice cream. Use the basic vanilla recipe, but soften 1½ teaspoons of unflavored gelatin in 1/4 cup of water and add with the sugar to the scalded milk. Continue cooking over low heat until the gelatin is dissolved, or substitute 1½ tablespoons of agar for the gelatin. And that was it for chapter 6, you guys. And now we are on to chapter 7, and that's food from the wild. So I will go ahead and get off from here, and I will get this uploaded. And I will probably just continue right on until, hopefully it'd be cool if I could get this book done tonight, guys. But I will see you guys on the next video. Let me know if you guys have made your own ice cream and how it turned out and how it tasted, what kind you made, and just let me know. And we do plan on getting the old-fashioned hand-crank ice cream maker because we will have an ice house. So, alright, so I'm going to get off from here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.